What's up? What's up? It's time for Done Way Past Funny with your host, G.D. Fenderson. Join us as we take a look back at the early works of seasoned comedians before they were seasoned with this week's guest, Aaron Bullitt. It's time to get down and get dope with Done Way Past Funny. Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist and host of Done Way Past Funny. Thank you for joining us as we continue our interview with comedian Aaron Bullitt. Please enjoy.
That is exactly where I understand. And people, do you find that do you feel like people shy away from those truths?
Yes, it's because, first of all, yes, everybody's going to be offended by something.
Right.
Yeah, and if you try real hard, you could be offended by yourself. Okay?
It's not hard to do.
Try real hard. Look in the mirror. You go like, "Oh my God, I don't like what I see." Okay, fine. You can learn to accept it. You can change it, learn to accept it, or just hate it. I'm one of the people who says accept or change. Don't waste your time with hate. Hate is fucking expensive. Okay, which is another joke which I'm going to do later in my 4th DVD. But hate is fucking expensive. But we had, like I said, so people. Let me get back to it. There was a guy I was talking about. There was a guy, a friend of the family. His name was Faggot Frank. Okay, Faggot Frank.
That's funny.
And that's the name he went by.
Right.
You know, and it wasn't because, it was like, because we knew 3 Franks.
Right.
Okay. And so this was the only Frank. Then he was flamboyantly gay.
Right.
Okay. He was feather boa gay. It's not like we teased him or anything like that. He knew who he was.
Right.
And he had no problem with it. We knew who he was.
Right.
We had no problem with it. And it just so happens that we had 3 Franks, and in our own immature way, we had to find a way to distinguish which Frank we were talking about. It's just like it's just like we had 3 Sams or 4 Sams, 2 Sams, and one Sam. No, it was 3 Sams, and one was, we called him Black Sambo because he was the darkest of the Sams.
I got a story behind. Keep going. I got a story.
So what I'm saying. So we had, we had those things, we just grew up like that, and it's not like we were being mean, because it's not like we ostracized. They were just names. Right. But the way we treated the people, we treated everybody the same. We had Fat Pat. She was huge. Okay, she was huge, big girl, but she was the best fucking athlete in our neighborhood. Okay,
right.
And when we picked teams, okay, first of all, Fat Pat and Big Andre could not be on the same team.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
So if the 2 of them were in the alley when we picked teams, they were the captains. That's it. No argument.
That's very democratic. Very democratic.
Yes. But Fat Pat and Big Andre, they were the captains. And the thing is, Big Andre was just big. Fat Pat was athletic and big.
Right.
She could beat Andre's ass. Matter of fact, Fat Pat could beat anybody's ass in the neighborhood. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you how aggressive she was. My brother was cute. Okay, my brother was the good looking boy in the family. He looked kind of like Wes Unseld back when Wes Unseld was a thing. Right. And my brother was a like I said, he was cute, pretty boy. I hate him. So
son of a bitch. That's funny.
Yeah, son of a bitch. He got to pick pretty much. He could pretty much date any girl he wanted. Okay. So he was in the living room. He's like waiting to go to school. There's a knock on the door. And it's like, knock on the door, opens it up, and it's Pat. I come out the kitchen and I'm like, what's Pat doing at the door? It's like we're about to go to school. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. And Pat goes, she looks at my brother and she goes, "You're my boyfriend now. You're going to walk me to school." And my brother. And that was it. That was it. My brother walked her to school, and he was her boyfriend for however long she wanted him to be his boyfriend. Okay. And the thing is, now I know in retrospect, there's some things about it was hurtful. Yeah. But because there were times that they called her Fat Pat and they said it in a mean way.
Right. Okay.
And you could tell when she was hurt.
Mm.
And I don't think I ever deliberately said anything to hurt her, but I know there were times that she was hurt by it and that wasn't because of the name. It was because when people wanted to date somebody, when we played football, we wanted Pat on our side. When we
Right.
play baseball, you want Pat on your side. When we're dating, you want Donna.
Yeah. Like.
See, and that's it. And that's where the pain came from. It wasn't the name. The pain came from how we treated people.
Okay.
See, and that's what I'm saying. It's not what you call somebody. I have been called some of the worst things that you could think of in my 60-some years. And so I've been in bars and the guy's like, "Hey, we don't want any niggers in here." Remember, I was in a bar and the guy, and I walked in. My friend set me the fuck up. I'm telling you now. Some of these stories I'm gonna edit out and put in like at the very end because this is supposed to be about you. But I started, but
I love it. I love
my
it.
mouth started running, and I got to finish this story.
Go ahead, please. I'm listening.
I had a friend of mine. He was dating this woman. I can't remember her name. I'm gonna just say her name is Debbie. He was dating this woman named Debbie, and so turns out he was also married. And I didn't know. So he and his wife were black. The woman that he's cheating with is white. And so he had a date with his wife and his girlfriend the same night. And he could,
they're the worst.
Yeah. And so he said to me, he's like, "Hey man, can you do me a favor?" I said, "What?" He goes, "I'm at the cut out early." He's like, so I'm gonna find an excuse to leave Debbie thing at the fair. Can you make sure she gets home safe? I said, "Sure, no problem." I said, "All right." So he leaves, and I said, "Debbie, I'm gonna give you a ride home." I said, your man had to leave." Okay, and I don't think she knew he was married because I didn't find out he was married until later. I didn't find out he was married until a lot later. But so I'm taking her home. It's white chick, and we pass a bar on her way to her apartment. And she goes, "Can we stop for like one drink? Because I'm not ready to go home." I said, "Sure, no sweat." The name of the bar was called Buell's. Okay. That should have stopped me there. Okay,
Right. Like,
Buell's. And then on the outside, it has like a big old horseshoe, as its logo. That should have stopped me there also. The fact that when I got into the parking lot, there was like nothing but pickup trucks and nut things. Those things, those little nut things.
like the little kind of like door knock.
The nut, whatever the things are. I can't remember the nut things and the naked girl mud flaps, and dualies and stuff. I said, and that should have stopped me, but no, it didn't, because I'm like, fine. She wants a drink, we'll go get a drink. So we walk in, and not the bartender, because the bartender sees me walk in, and he's a patron. Okay,
money.
Yeah. But one of the other patrons, wants to pick a fight with me, and he's being persistent about wanting to pick a fight with me. At any rate, I discourage him from wanting to pick a fight with me because he went to swing at me, and I grabbed his hand and I slammed it on the corner of the bar, and I think I broke his hand.
Yeah.
But he still had to finish his drink, so he didn't leave yet. So he's
like, not gonna waste his whiskey. Fuck his hand.
He's on the other side. So he's going he's sitting on the bar, but he's on the other side of the bar from me. There's like the bar is like a big circle, and the bartender's in the middle. And so he's on the opposite side of me, and he's like calling, he's like says, nigger, blah blah blah, nigger this, nigger that, and she's getting upset. And she's getting, the girl, the white chick I'm with, my friend's girlfriend, Debbie, she's getting upset. And the guy's, and she goes, and the guy's like, we don't like niggers in here. And so she looks at me and she goes, "Are you hearing this?" I said, "I don't blame them. I don't want any niggers in here either." So
right. Hilarious, right?
So I said, the whole right. And everybody's laughing. The bartender's laughing. And the guy over there is like, "You think you funny?" It's like, actually, I'm just not phased. It's not that I'm funny. I'm not phased. And so she is like getting irate for both of us.
Mhm.
She's like, yeah. It's like, please don't. It's like, stop it. Duh. So I got set up, like I said, but he was calling me all kinds of names, and I didn't fix. It's like I don't care. It's the way I wasn't there for him. I was there to make sure she got home safe and to have a beer. The bartender treated me like a human being with respect and with money. That's all I needed.
It's
I didn't
America,
need,
but yeah.
I didn't need that. I didn't need for the other patrons to like me. The bartender welcomes me, takes my money, gives me my beer, and doesn't spit in it, which I know he didn't because he gave it to me like right there. You watch him pour the beer, unless he licked the glasses in the back, which that means everybody's getting licked glasses, which means I'm being
getting herpes.
Which means but it also means I'm being treated the same as everybody else. So, which is all I ask. All I ask is to be treated the same as everybody else. I don't care what you call me; it's how you treat me. Right. And that's the thing about the names and the words. I have friends that are gay. I have friends that are straight. I have friends that are, you name it. I have, okay, that's overuse. I don't really have any friends, but I have people who
like acquaintances that you.
Yeah, I have people who don't hang up on me when I call. No, no.
They'll listen.
Yeah, but and they know my mouth. I'll say like they know me. Mm-hmm. So if I get their pronouns wrong, they're not going to like. It's not like it's out of a place of hate. As a matter of fact, most of them know I don't give a shit about their pronouns. I don't know what their pronouns are. I don't care. What's your name? What do you want to be called? How do you want to be treated? That's what's important to me. And I think that's what people forget. Like in Israel and Palestine, it's how they treat each other. And the problem isn't the people, it's the fucking governments. It's Hamas and Netanyahu. They should just get together and fight it out. Just put Netanyahu and that dick who represents Hamas, put them in the room together. Okay. And it doesn't even matter who wins. Just let them both die. Just once they get in the room together, fill it with water and drown them both. Okay.
And then we all naturally come to our own conclusions after that.
Yeah. And let the people work it out. Let the people get to, because they have families, they have kids. It's about how they're treated, how they get to be raised. And people forget that. They start putting us in boxes, and it's like, oh my God, I don't want to live next to a black family. Why? That's why I say hate is expensive, because back when they integrated the pools, instead of letting us share the pool, the community pool, they shut the fucking pool down and put their own pools in their yards. That's expensive. Just because you don't.
Right.
Yes, that's real hatred. When you're spending that much money because you don't want your kids to play with somebody of color, it's like, you hate somebody so much, I'm willing to sell my house and buy another house. That gets expensive.
Very expensive.
Yeah, that's why I say that's the premise of the whole joke, and not joke, the material.
I like that premise. I like that.
Hate is expensive. It is much cheaper to just love each other and accept each other. It's cheaper. Somebody moves into the neighborhood, I can walk. When my neighbors, when my wife and I moved into the neighborhood, we walked up. Our neighbors came down with cookies, and I mean, yes, the
white neighbors.
Yeah, white neighbors.
Yeah, white neighbors, right? Okay.
White neighbors. Yeah, they came down with cookies, and the thing is, my wife won't eat food from anybody. If she doesn't see it being made, she's not eating it, and it's nothing personal. It's germs.
That's her get down. That's
it. She does not know what your kitchen is like. It's nothing personal. So when they brought the cookies and I'm diabetic, so they don't know I'm diabetic. It's the gesture,
right?
It's the gesture. It's not like they said. It's not like I came up and I had a sign that says I'm diabetic. Don't bring me no fucking cookies. No, they're like, we treat everybody the same. We're welcoming you to the neighborhood, and so I just said, and the only thing I said, thank you for the cookies. When do you need the plate back? Because I can put these in a bowl and give you the plate now. And we sat there and we talked for like 15, 20 minutes. When they left and I had the cookies, my wife says, you're going to have to eat those cookies because I'm not eating those cookies. And I understood that it wasn't personal. She's never seen their kitchen. And me, I'm willing to say, look, I do comedy. I've eaten in some pretty bad places. Really, I'm pretty sure I can handle their cookies. And so that's it. So I don't even know. So to get to your clip, which is where we started, an hour ago.
30 an hour, which is, but I love it. I love the roller coaster we just went on. Woo! Let's do it. I'm down.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to put a disclaimer in the front. Well, I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna let it ride because I try to put the clip. I try to put the clip in the first 30 minutes so that people understand, get to know, But okay, now here's the first clip, everybody. It is at the place in Cincinnati that I forgot already.
Go Bananas.
What?
It's the club is called Go Bananas in Cincinnati.
Go Bananas Ohio. In Cincinnati, right? And this is the semi-pro Aaron Bullitt.
How y'all doing tonight? All right, before I get started, I want to do a quick public service announcement. White people, please don't get weird when I say nigga tonight. Don't do it. Let's be honest. I know some of you say nigga when y'all listen to rap music in the car. Let's be real, okay? Establish this rapport. Appreciate that, niggas. I appreciate that shit. You know what I mean? It's just like cracker. I say them, you eat them. Now we're all friends here, right? Look, all I'm saying is, I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke. Great, you all passed, good. We can move forward. You know, I love to travel when I do comedy because I like to learn about the cities I'm at. Like, did you guys know, in 1957, D.C. was the first city in America to be majority black. And I thought, like, come on, y'all. You know, black people, we didn't get our 40 acres and a mule, so they just gave us D.C. I guess that was okay. But I felt like it was weird because they conveniently put it near the Capitol, keep their eye on niggas, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, DC is getting gentrified. Y'all ain't that some shit? But I like that because that's why I think a lot of black people moved to Atlanta. That's the new chocolate city. I call it Godiva City. Right. Everyone likes chocolate nose mix. Okay, cool. I love you guys as a crowd. You know, I don't even know why we worry about calories as humans. I think it's the most pointless shit ever, right? You never see a lion on the Serengeti be like, oh shit, I ate too much zebra ass. Next time we have my ass, say something for the next day. Hold on. Like any weed smokers, raise your hand if you're a weed smoker in the house. Raise your, I know you guys are. Anybody else? Yeah, I'm like, but I like more of the names than actual potency of the right? Like I think that's important, right? I know you guys agree. Anyways, like one of the most memorable names is Gary Payton. I thought, oh, that's some cool ass shit. Like when I get famous, I'm gonna name my weed strain Paula Dean. Because when you get high, you get the munchies, you'll think someone's calling you a nigga like, nigga what? They love nigga here. Keep going. Keep saying nigga. They love that shit.
Yeah. Now, three things that come up like right away. First of all, this is a competition. This is a contest.
Yeah.
And your choice of material to open with is quite bold. For
very
contest.
bold.
I'm just saying because it's not like usually with the contest you're like saying I'm trying to win this thing, and you're saying you're more like saying this is who I am, even whether I win it or not. Yeah. This is me. The other thing, which I don't know if anybody else appreciates it, but you talk about the strain of weed called Gary Payton.
Yes.
And people don't realize that Gary Payton was known for his passing.
Exactly. Yeah, this man was a lockdown defender. Like this dude was defensive player of the year.
Yeah, but he was an assist leader too. He him and Jason Kidd. But Gary Payton, I don't know if you remember the commercials like pass me the ball, the ball. No, they're trying to teach these kids how to. So and the first rule of pot is puff puff pass. And so Gary Payton passing. I was like, oh, okay, gotcha. Now, but and you wasted that on those people because they're like, first they don't know who Gary Payton is and they don't know what he did. So you wasted it. And you're gonna have to like let them know who Gary Payton is before unless it was just like because I have throwaway lines. It's like I have lines where I throw it in. It's like if you get it, you do. If you don't, because like I want people to watch my DVDs more than once. And so I write them so that there's going to be shit you're going to miss the first time. like Easter eggs in a movie, you know. Like
Mhm.
Marvel, if you pay attention to a Marvel movie, the first time you watch it's like it's a Marvel movie. Now I'm not comparing the quality of what I do to Marvel. They've got a way to go before they reach my quality. That's
Right.
not what I'm
They're
saying.
still working on that
Right.
superhero shit. Still
Yeah,
figuring that out.
they got a way to go before they reach my standards. But the thing is, you watch a Marvel movie, the first time it's like, man, bang, bang, action. And then if you watch it the second time, it's like, wait a second. Did you catch that in the background? That was a reference to
Yep.
such and such. And then your real geeky people are going like, that was from issue 31, 131, volume 9, 1974.
That's funny. I did that with the Superman versus it was Superman versus Batman movie because I was like, actually, it's based on Flash Paradox and in the comic. So I get I get you.
Or the people when Hugh Jackman was made Wolverine. And they go like, that's not right. Wolverine was only 4'11" in real life. It's like he wasn't real in real life.
Damn it. Stupid.
He wasn't real in real life. So it doesn't, like Helmsley, Chris Helmsley's being Thor. Thor was 7 foot in real life. Chris Helmsley's not 7 foot. It's like, no.
Well, Thor, he's from Canada. Why they have him in Romania? This makes no goddamn sense.
So with my DVDs is like, there are little things that you'll catch, subtle things. Like the first time you watch is like, son of a bitch, that was a joke. He just slipped that in there. And he didn't even pause for the audience. He just like, this is for you if you get it. If you don't, I'm moving on. And then like if you watch all three, there's gonna be references to like the first or second DVD. That again, I'm not saying I don't sit there and go like, you would have thought that was funny if you watched the first DVD. It's like, no, if you watched the first DVD, you got it. If you didn't, then fine. It's no big deal. But so I'm just saying that in the sense that like the your choice of topics to open with is bold. Now, you see, this was how long ago was this?
Well, this is probably, I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago. So I want to say August time frame, something around that. I think the actual clip, I can actually look at my phone.
No, that's cool.
Okay.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
So why'd you decide to open with that? Because you could have picked, it's a competition. You could have like said, okay, I'm going to lead with instead of hello white people, hello where was this? This is Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, yeah.
Yeah, you could have said, where are my Bengal? You could literally start off with like, where are my Bengal fans at, or something like that to get them going. Like, where are my Bengals fans? Like, yeah, and then slipped in. It's like, so white people, but that's not what you did. You started off with. Don't be offended. If you want to say nigger, say nigger. I know you say it in private, like that.
It's cool. Yeah, it's a party. Yeah. I guess the reason why I did it was, again, I always credit a lot of my work that I do with April. Like, so the reason why I do that, the reason why I say that disclaimer is because she told me that as she watched my shows, that the material that I do, to some, like you said, to some people could be offensive, divisive. So she said that'd be a really cool way to kind of like set the tone of like, as you hear my material, this is what. And for me, artistically, I felt like even though it's a competition, I only compete with myself. And what I mean by that is, I feel like comedy, even though, yes, I come from a military and football background, so I understand competition. I understand, best practices, all that. But for me, comedy is the one thing I try not to be combative. I try to help people. This is a service industry. So for me,
right.
I felt like I want to compete with myself. I want to be Aaron, and I feel like I don't want to be, it's easy. I could have, and most people would have naturally said you could have did that, but I feel like I want to compete with myself and I want to be me. So I don't want to win because of, I said something like, I want to win because you like me and you think I'm funny. And even then, I wasn't in it to win. I was in it for exposure. I
Right.
just wanted to try it. Like
Right.
that's why. And as I'm listening, that's why, like, for example, I'm a natural fast talker. That is just me by nature. So in that moment, I thought, okay, well, how am I going to deal with having just 7 minutes? How am I going to deal with timing? So it was to compete with myself to see where I was at. And, you know, there are things in there that I could have done differently. You know, I could have talked a little slower. I could have paused at certain points, but I feel like for me, it was just like, let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens. And, you know, there's good things I'll take away from it. There's bad things. And even if I don't win, I wanted to see my material. And from my opinion, a lot of people laughed. A lot of people took my material well. And I think that disclosure in the beginning is just that honest. I think that's what's funny. And like, that's what's important is like that honesty of like, this is who I am. Like, I'm not going to compromise who I am. If you don't like me, fine. If you do, great. So for me, and, you know, I'm not like talking bad about anyone because in my opinion, because it's like, it was like weeks. So every couple of days you had different like tiers. So it was like me and like 5 other guys for semi-pro and like 8 other guys for amateur. I thought everybody was funny in their own unique way.
Right.
But for me, I felt like, well, I want to be Aaron. I want to see how I can get better, how I can measure myself and how my talents, because it's so easy in comedy to like, I think people judge a lot in comedy. So it's easy for an outside comic to be like, that's not funny. You shouldn't do that. Well,
right.
and in that case of my boldness, right? I've had comics say, you can't say nigga, or you can't say, hey, white people, you got to do these things. And I thought, well, I could, but that's not what got me here. Like what got me to this point of being able to speak is hearing myself and receiving that from the crowd and being authentic. And I think people, to me, what I got from that was people respected that. They're like, hey, that was some wild shit you did, but and typically, especially my biggest thing is like, I love everyone, but from Black people, they were like, I appreciated your set. I appreciate that you were honest. Even some of the white people, they were like, it was different. It made me think. So for me, that competition was just let's see what can I get out of 7 minutes? And now when I do stuff now, I kind of know that's what 7 minutes feels like. That's what being more polished feels like. That's what it means to be in that pressure environment, because I just think that makes you better as a person, is putting yourself in environments that are uncomfortable, but it's not necessarily uncomfortable because I can't do it. It's because up until that point, I had never done a tight professional set. So now I know, okay, if I have to do a tight set like that, I know, okay, maybe I might not do as many jokes. I might do less jokes, or I might do certain things different, or I might keep it the same. So I just didn't want to cheat myself. And I would have rather lost, quote unquote. I would have rather learned by being myself than won by being someone else. And I feel like it's important. And why not? Why am I going to lie on the fact that people say nigga in the car? White people, you say everyone says nigga. I've been called nigga at least by one person of every denomination. I might not agree with it. My whole thing on the stance of nigga is, you can say it on the car you want to, you can do whatever. If you call me a nigga, I'm going to say something, right? Because that's just how I am. But you might meet another brother or sister that might be okay with that. But let's acknowledge that the word exists. And I find in comedy, particularly society, but comedy specifically, that people try to ignore the realities. They want you to make shit up and act like things aren't real. And no, that's real. Like, yes, I'm going to say nigga a lot. You say in the car. Don't be weird and white. Don't be weird and whatever. And niggas in the crowd, don't be weird when I say it in front of white people, because we all universally know the word. It's in rap lyrics. It's everywhere. So let's cut the bullshit. Let's just keep it honest and let's have a good time. So, and I just don't think that's conducive to the art form. If I feel like I do tailor my sets. Some sets, when I'm at places I don't cuss, or some places, if I'll say this, if Go Bananas was like, Aaron, we have this rule, we don't allow anyone to say these certain words or do these certain things. Okay, I'll do it. I'll follow. I'm not going to rebel.
Right.
But they were like just the competition. That's why I love Go Bananas, but I love Cincinnati. They were like, just be you. Just like the competition is more about exposure. It's all about exposure, because the prize or reward is you get a trophy. I thought you got some money. I thought like a couple $100, but you won a trophy and you get a feature spot at the club.
Right.
So for me, I'm like, well, if I'm competing, that's a loose word I'm using. If I'm competing for this opportunity, I would rather them know me now, because I don't want to like win and be what they want me to be, and then I get that feature spot. Then I tell them like, oh, well, you're different from what are you doing, nigga? You're different from what you sounded like, you know. So I just feel like that's just kind of how I view comedy, is like either you like me or you don't. And even then, it's not that you don't like me, you just might not like the amount of honesty that I'm saying. And I would rather I would rather have like 200 followers on Instagram that fuck with me, that are like my shit, understand me, than have 1 million followers that I got to be some character, you know. And because when you're this character, some people can do it. Some people like that. They love being shucky ducky or whatever.
You know what it is? They like it until they themselves change. And I know this because I've watched Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
Okay, Pauly Shore. At one point, he was known as there's some rodent character. He was like the beaver or something, not the beaver, the gopher. There's some character who was like, no, and it was like from a movie, but it became like associated with him. And he was doing the stand up, and he was always that like the gopher or whatever the fuck it was. I can't remember. It was just some kind of rodent animal, and that was like his thing. And then he decided he was going to do comedy again, and they wouldn't give him a break. I felt so bad for him. I'm sitting there. Felt so bad for him because he wanted to do new stuff. He was doing new stuff, and the audience was booing him, and they kept saying, "Where's the whatever the fuck it was, the beaver or the gopher or whatever it was that he was, the muskrat." I don't remember. There was some fucking animal that they associated that became like his thing.
Yeah, his shtick. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were yelling, "Where's that?" And they were just yelling that animal name, and he was pissed. He got pissed off, and he goes, and he just like he let the audience have. He goes, "Look, I'm trying to do new comedy." I'm sitting there, and I felt so bad for him because I got it. I understood. But he did it himself. He let Hollywood and other people pigeonhole him, and while it was profitable.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but I want to grow up. And they wouldn't let him grow up. And he pissed him off. And he got angry. Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist and host of Done Way Past Funny. Thank you for watching our continuing interview with comedian Aaron Bullitt. And please come back to watch more of our interview with Aaron Bullitt. And when you come back to join us, bring a friend.